Hi, I'm Nurse Lewis, and today we're going to be learning about the digestive system. We're going to be talking about secretions, enzymes, digestive organs, and accessory organs. We're also going to be learning where sugars, starches, carbohydrates, lipids, fats, and proteins begin and where they are absorbed. This octopus is food. The digestive process starts when the food enters the mouth, and this process is called ingestion.
When the food enters the mouth, ingestion begins. The teeth and tongue help to compound the food for further digestion. Saliva is secreted by the parotid, sublingual, and submandibular glands of the salivary gland in order to help break down the food. The enzyme amylase is released by the salivary glands into ducts within the mouth in order to break down the carbohydrates within the food.
Saliva glands in the mouth secrete saliva, which helps to moisten the food. The food is then chewed while the salival glands also release the enzyme salivular amylase, which begins the process of breaking down the polysaccharides in the carbohydrate food. After the carbohydrate food is chewed into smaller pieces and mixed with salivular amylase and other salivary juices, it is swallowed and passed through the esophagus. After being in the stomach, the chyme enters the beginning portion of the small intestine, or the duodenum. The carbohydrate then goes into the large intestine, where it is not digested and absorbed by the small intestine, reaches the colon, where they are partly broken down by intestinal bacteria.
As the food enters the mouth, it goes down the pharynx and esophagus, where the digestive process continues.
After the initial breakdown of the food in the mouth, the power of peristalsis is harnessed within the pharynx and esophagus to push the food further towards the abdomen as digestion progresses. Peristalsis uses contractions and relaxations of the smooth muscle tissues within the throat in order to move the food.
Digestion does not begin until the sugar reaches the small intestine. Your body cannot absorb polysaccharides as is, so it must first break down sucrose down into its component form parts through a process called hydrolysis. Water assists in severing the glycosidic bond to separate the glucose and fructose molecules. One molecule of water is needed for each molecule of sucrose. However, this reaction naturally occurs very slowly, as separate monosaccharides, or one molecule sugars, glucose and fructose, are free for absorption. After leaving the liver, glucose, the primary source of energy, travels to nearly every cell in the body, and the hormone insulin facilitates its uptake into cells. Glucose, not immediately used for energy, undergoes a process called glycogenesis. A deficiency in the sucrase enzyme called congenital sucrase immolitase deficiency can inhibit sucrose digestion and absorption.
3.
We know that starches are not completely digested, and indeed some are quite poorly digested. We have learned that the undigestible carbohydrates are not just neutral bulking agents, but have important psychological effects that even contribute energy to the diet. Sugar is not bad for health, and starches are not all equal in their effects on blood glucose and lipids. The digestion of lipids begin in the stomach, catalyzed by an acid-stable lipase that originates from glands at the back of the tongue. For fats, digestion begins in the mouth, where food is crushed and ground into small pieces that can be easily swallowed. Fats follow the esophagus to the stomach, where they are crushed more. The liver excretes bile, a substance that does not contain any digestive enzymes, but one that is nonetheless essential for fat digestion. Bile contains large quantities of bile salts, mainly ionized sodium salts that are steroid derivatives produced by the oxidation of cholesterol in the liver. The most important enzyme for fat digestion is the pancreatic lipase. Bile and pancreatic lipase is dumped into the small intestines when food is present. Two of the substances secreted by the stomach, hydrochloric acid and pepsinogen, interact to create pepsin, an enzyme that plays a very important role in protein digestion. The process that takes place when proteins are disintegrated by the enzymes is called hydrolysis.
The food furthers down to the stomach where it will be broken down. The food furthers down to the stomach where it will be broken down. The food furthers down to the stomach where it will be broken down. The food furthers down to the stomach where it will be broken down.